It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Driving on the highway, going to a show. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting a bone, getting high, getting shook. I show you folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. Ladies in the room on night stands, driving a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and welcome to another installment of the 2005 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series as we start the final 5 races of this season here from round number 32 of 36 from Martinsville for the Old Dominion 500 as we really get down to it here in the final stretch of this season as championship hopefuls enter this race looking for some points here today at the half mile at Martinsville as we take you trackside to take a look at the starting lineup as well as your points update going into today's race. Kurt Busch in the 01 car qualifies on pole. That's your points leader starting from first here today with a 24-point lead over Casey Kane in second. Looking down the rest of the grid, it will be Scott Wimmer in second place. Third place goes to Todd Bodine in the 26 car, and Tony Stewart will be starting fourth in the 20. Fifth goes to Bobby Labonte in the 18, and David Rudiman will start this race in sixth. Seventh goes to Jamie McMurray, and Casey Kane, aforementioned second in points, will start from P8. And of course, Tony Stewart in third in points, further up the grid in fourth. Ninth goes to Sterling Marlin in the 22, both of the BDR cars in the top 10 today. Jeff Gordon will start from 10th place. 11th goes to Matt Kenseth, and Scott Riggs will be starting this race in 12th. 13th goes to Don Thompson Jr., and Jason Leffler qualifies in 14th. Kenny Wallace will be from P15, and Greg Biffle P16. 17th is Robbie Gordon, and John Wood will be in the 18th position. Brian Vickers from P19, and Kyle Busch in 20th. 21st will be Jerry Nadeau in the 44, and Jeff Burton starts from 22nd. Ricky Hendrick will be in the 23rd spot, and Carl Edwards in 24th. 25th goes to Dale Jarrett, and 26th will be Johnny Sauter. 27th place is going to be Mark Martin, and 28th, Christian Elder. 29th will be Kevin Harvick, one of the championship hopefuls a little bit further behind, and Jeremy Mayfield will start this race from P30. 31st goes to John Andretti. 32nd, Chad Little. 33rd will be Dave Blaney. 34th, Ryan Newman. 35th will be Mike Bliss in the 81, and Eric Norris starts from 36th place. Michael Waltrip in 37th, and Dale Jr. in 38th. Casey Atwell will be from the 39th spot. Ken Schrader qualifies in 40th. Buckshot Jones in P41, and 42nd goes to Augie Vidovic in the 52 car. 42 cars on the grid, as always, here from Martinsville as we take you trackside for the command for the Old Dominion 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
42 stock cars roar to life here from Martinsville as we are all set to get underway for what is set to be one of the most important races of this championship hunt. Looking at your championship standings heading into today's race, Kurt Busch, obviously, it was mentioned, he is your points leader in that 01 car. 24 points separates him and 38 of Casey Kane for Robert Yates Racing. Looking down the rest of this top group, as Tony Stewart will start this race third in points in 94 back from Kurt Busch. It'll be 135 for Ricky Hendrick, who sits fourth. Robbie Gordon, 147 back in fifth. Jeff Gordon will be 155 behind in 6th and 7th as Kevin Harvick 163 behind. Kurt Busch will lead the field to the green here from the pole. Your points leader off of turn number 4 and into the restart box. We are underway here from Martinsville. Almost seemed like Scott Wimmer got away a little bit better there from second place on the start of the race, but Kurt Busch will take the lead regardless with the dive into turn 1. Here's Todd Bodine to take second place from that 23 machine, and he's up into P2 off of turn number 2. And down the backstretch here as he just about gets clear, although Wimmer trying to put up a fight on the outside, but will not prevail as Bodine is clear now. Wimmer into third. Gibbs' teammates are fighting for the 4th spot as Bobby Labonte looks to get around his championship contending teammate in the 20. Jamie McMurray up in this mix as well. Casey Kane has found a lane to the bottom in the 38 now as he gets passed by David Rudiman, but we'll get back underneath to fight for that position as they head off of turn 4. Stewart hanging tight with his teammate around the outside. 18 over the curbing a little bit there in turn 1, but still hanging just even with Stewart, who is still trying to fight on that outer line. Labonte doing the 20 no favors, though, and trying to get the early track position here in this race. Everybody clean so far in the back as Kurt Busch continues to pull away from the lead. He's got Todd Bodine in second place, who just ran his best lap of the race so far. Still Labonte and Stewart dueling for that 4th spot as the 20 remains on the outside. Hard-fought battles early here in the midfield, but Bobby Labonte will get clear of his Home Depot 20 teammate in the form of Tony Stewart off of turn 4 that time. Stewart drops down into 5th place. Bobby Labonte will be in 4th off of turn number 2 now. But I'm still looking for a way to catch up to your race leader, Kurt Busch, who ran a 19.2 that last time. One of his better laps of the race so far as he continues to pull away from 1st. Casey Kane slowly slipping up the order as we run. He's now into P8. Past Sterling Marlin in the 22. Following behind fellow Ford Matt Kenseth in the 17, who runs in 7th place. Single file throughout the top group now, all the way back down to Jeff Gordon, although he now goes side by side with his teammate in the form of Rudiman. And we got a collision. Caution flag is going to come out as Greg Biffle is around in turn number 2. That'll bring out the yellow flag for the first time here today. So caution flag flies here in Martinsville as we get a look at this early incident. Looking like contact involving Greg Biffle. And yes, around went the 16 here. Looking like he got a bit of help from the 33 of Don Thompson Jr., who said, out of my way, but the 33 goes up and into the wall, resulting from the contact. 6 and 88 also had to go way up the racetrack in order to miss that one. These two getting a little antsy back here. This was for the 13th spot. Suppose that the 33 was not too happy with Greg Biffle, who was running side by side with him for that position. Maybe believed he was getting a little bit of a block there. Maybe just a misjudgment, hard to say. But either way, around goes Greg Biffle, and that brings out the first caution of today's race. Ooh, and Ricky Hendrick is going to get spun around by Mark Martin under pacing as everybody stacks up to try to get into the pacing queue here. Always tough to get slowed down under caution here at Martinsville, as some of the field will pit and others will elect to stay out. Kurt Busch in the 01 will lead the field into the pit lane here. From the race lead. And staying out to inherit the lead is the 40 of Jamie McMurray. So we are under caution now. 5 cars going to stay out on the racetrack as Mike Bliss will enter the top 5. Casey Kane, one of your championship leaders, is going to stay on the racetrack to keep the track position. Kurt Busch went down to 6th place after the pit stops. A couple more cars stayed out as well. But didn't make it all the way up the field with all the stacking up under pacing. So we'll take you to intermission here from Martinsville. Jamie McMurray leads after the early caution with his teammate Kurt Busch coming into the pit lane. Be right back here from Martinsville. Back from intermission here at Martinsville as we take a look at your top 5. Jamie McMurray, of course, your race leader. Looking down the rest of the order, it'll be Kenseth, Kane, Vickers, and Bliss, your top 5. As some of these race leaders come into pit here. Kurt Busch, the first of the drivers in. He'll start from 6th place on 4 tires after just a short 10 laps or so under that first green run. His teammate Jamie McMurray to lead the field to the restart here off of turn number 4, and we are back green. Up through the gears, Matt Kenseth trying to get underneath Jamie McMurray. McMurray shuts the door on the 17 off of turn 2. Just about stays in front as Kenseth did have the nose underneath in turn 2, but couldn't quite keep it there on corner exit as the 40 pulls away. Top 5 remains the same. First couple laps into this run. 06 and 68, as well as the 14 all pitting in here under green. Interesting strategy call from those guys as we have a couple cars down pit road. Rest of this race still taking place on the racetrack as McMurray still leads. Battle for 6. That's between Labonte and Busch for the 6th spot. 18 been on that curb quite a lot here as Sauter rejoins the racetrack. Right in front of the top 5. He goes side by side with Bliss when rejoining. Labonte still working on Kurt Busch here, trying to stay in front of that 01. It'll help out his teammate Tony Stewart in a little bit in that championship hunt, and he does. Busch stuck on the top side now. Here's Todd Bodine underneath the 01. Greg Biffle's recovered nicely so far in this round. He's up and into the top 10. Not sure if he made a pit stop or not. Oh, and wrecking up in front as Mark Martin is around. And the caution flag will come back out again. That was right in front of the leaders. Casey Kane up and into 2nd place as the caution flag comes out. We'll get a look at this one involving Mark Martin, who had just came in for a pit stop. Looks like Jamie McMurray was lapping the 06 car here. Believe he might have gotten held up a little bit when Martin rejoined the racetrack. As well as, the 14 got a little bit of help earlier there, yeah. So McMurray looking like he ran out of patience with these lappers. and said no thank you to the 06 of Mark Martin, who was blocking the bottom, and McMurray deals some quick work to the 06, and Mark Martin goes around. Brian Vickers got a piece of that to bring out another caution. So we are back under yellow once again. Big checkup here as a lot of these guys are going to be trying to go around the pace car here. And a lot of these drivers are going to have to pit while 78 is getting into McMurray. Look out here. Oh, no, and McMurray gets help from Jones and is going to be out of pit road. He stays on the racetrack. Casey Kane comes in. Goodness me, what on earth is happening right now? Can't even begin to commentate that for you, as McMurray is going to be black flagged. Both of these guys are going to be black flagged after going into the pits and then going back out after Buckshot Jones makes contact with McMurray entering the pits. And that is a unique situation. Kane with 4 fresh tires as the 38 leaves pit road. A lot going on at the moment. Not entirely sure what's going on here. We'll take you to intermission here from Martinsville. Be right back. So after all of this mess, it will be Bobby Labonte in the race lead here, as that is going to be Leffler taking a lucky dog there. Not a lot of time for him to get around, but nonetheless, Bobby Labonte in the 18 now has the race lead. Jamie McMurray will be put back on the lead lap here after the deal with him on pit road. Nonetheless, Bobby Labonte leads the field, back green. It is Bodine, Stewart, Marlin, and Rudiman, your top 5. After that pit stop, Casey Kane is just in the top 10 in exactly 10th place. So McMurray back on the lead lap here. 18 and 26, first and second. Sterling Marlin jumped underneath the 20 of Tony Stewart for 3rd place on that race start. 43 car has a tire down now. And wrecking into the corner as he is up and into the wall after that. So caution flag comes back out. And we're under yellow again here from Martinsville, as we're immediately all going to head down pit road once more. Maybe see more split strategy here. No, Casey Kane going to stay out. Lucky Dog will go to the 78 car. So we are back under caution. So, oh, and Kyle Busch a part of that wreck as well. Man, that 19 car cannot catch a break. So 43 has a tire go down here. And seems like he wasn't really in control of that thing. And then the 0 car in the way, and around he went. And John Andretti up and into the wall. And Kyle Busch caught a piece of it and is into the 43 and around himself. And Busch really unable to catch a break at the moment. So caution comes out, and we'll have some more pit stops here. Bobby Labonte in the 18, your race leader, into the pits from first. And he gets away, but not without getting into the 23 of Wimmer, who was trying to get into his pit box. I believe Casey Kane might have taken fuel only on that stop. Again, 78 will get the lucky dog here. A couple of cars did stay out. Michael Waltrip still on the racetrack. He'll be second. Carl Edwards as well. Gained some positions here under caution. We'll be right back here from Martinsville. Once again, another quick yellow, 18 in the lead. Back from intermission once again here from Martinsville. Again, it'll be Labonte in the 18 in the lead. Michael Waltrip in the 00 stayed out on that last caution, and he will be in second place. I believe Carl Edwards was in the pits before the yellow flag came out, so he'll restart in fourth after staying out. Casey Kane down to fifth place, or up to fifth place, I should say, after taking no tires on that last pit stop. Again, was in the pits right before the yellow flag came out. Your leader back green here from Martinsville. Kane wasting no time to try to get underneath Carl Edwards. That's for position P number 4. 3 wide back there involving your points leader, Kurt Busch, who's on the bottom of Biffle, and the 28 of Chad Little. Didn't end up staying underneath Biffle, who powers through in the middle lane. Kane now working on Stewart for third and should have this move completed. No, not quite. 06 car came in there. He was serving a penalty under that caution, so unsurprising to see him in the pit lane. Kane into third. Stewart He's been struggling to keep that bottom lane so far in this race. He now fights with Carl Edwards for position. Mark Martin rejoins the racetrack right in the middle of this pack. Chad Little ducks into the pits. So 28 car in the pit lane, making a scheduled pit stop this time. Seen a lot of issues for a lot of guys early in the running today. Casey Kane flying at the moment, looking underneath Michael Waltrip for second, but couldn't get the nose fully underneath. Bobby Labonte pulling away from the race lead. Waltrip with a nice run, running in second, thanks to that caution flag where he stayed out and holding his own for the moment, but for how long, with Kane right on the back bumper. Another car into the pits is the 78 of Buckshot Jones, previous Lucky Dog, making a scheduled stop himself as well. I believe they wanted to get the damage on that car fixed. And he is quickly away once more. Jeff Burton also in the pits as well. A lot of guys making some surprising pit stops here so far in this race. And he now rejoins the racetrack. 52 in as well. My, a lot of pitters. Everything clean so far through the field, as it is. Jeff Burton took a pretty long pit stop, actually. Probably had some damage repairs to get done. Yeah, a bit of damage at the front of that race car, so he rejoins the racetrack. Casey Kane still trying to find a way around Michael Waltrip for second. Unable to get past that 00 for P2 and have clean racetrack up to the leader, who's Bobby Labonte right now. Vidovic joins the racetrack right in front of Tony Stewart, as did the 99 of Jeff Burton. Casey Kane loving the position he's running in right now, especially with Kurt Busch a little further down the order. It's 10th place for the 01. A lot of the main championship leaders, all of the three of the top three are in the top 10, two of them in the top 5. As Bobby Labonte continues to lead. Big mess back here still behind the lap traffic of the 52 and 99. As Sterling Marlin looks to try to take away the top 5 from Tony Stewart. Dove it in there, got into the 99 of Jeff Burton. Sterling Marlin saying, hey, I'm on the lead lap, I've got the right of way, and gives a bit of a tap to that Roush 99 car and slips past Tony Stewart into 5th place for the 22. This is bringing a lot of guys up into this battle. Todd Bodine and Kurt Busch joining the party as well. Scott Riggs in 10th, not too far behind either. Kane still unable to get past Waltrip, who runs second, but not a whole lot of a rush for those guys given the lap cars in front of the rest of the top 5 and 10. As Marlin sits back there behind the 52 with Robbie Gordon right in tow in P6. Jeff Burton and Augie Vidovic being a bit of a nuisance for these race leaders. Still calm up front, although Kane a little squirrely there. Bobby Labonte's lead has extended to now 2.2 seconds, is the 18 car in first. Nearing lap traffic, the first lapper. Oh, never mind. Caution's out. 44 of Nadu is around. And we are back under caution just prior to 1/3 of this race completed. 30 of Atwood getting into the 44 for the 19th position, and up and into the wall went Nadu. Little bit of blocking here and there, and that results in a collision. So we'll have another caution now. Lucky Dog will be the 68 of Johnny Sauter. Pitting in, 18 of Bobby Labonte from the race lead here. Into the pit boxes for your race leaders, 18 and 38 in here for 4 tires and fuel once again. And Bobby Labonte is away from the race lead, holds on to first place. Lap cars will be staying out and getting the wave around. That'd be the 99 and 52. And as we mentioned, the 68 will be the Lucky Dog. Last couple drivers leaving their pit boxes. Be right back here from Martinsville yet again. Bobby Labonte still in control of this race. Led a lot of laps from that run and is in first. Back here yet again at Martinsville with Bobby Labonte in the race lead. Looking at the rest of your top 5, it'll be the 18, 00, 38, 97, and 22 rounding out the top 5 here in this race with Bobby Labonte having led a lot of laps here. In control of this thing after he pulled away from Michael Waltrip, who runs in second. Just past a third of this race completed, it'll be lap number 56 when we take the green. Casey Kane, the highest of the championship contenders right now, as he runs in third. Tony Stewart in 8th and Robbie Gordon in 6th. Not too terribly far behind off of turn 4, back green here at Martinsville. Great start for Labonte, who pulls away. Edwards and Kane both up the racetrack there. Ooh, bit of contact and a bit more contact as Jones and Marlin get into each other. Edwards almost got turned there off of turn 2. Everybody trying to hold on to it. Tony Stewart trying to capitalize. Couldn't quite get underneath Robbie Gordon. Oh, Mark Martin and Kurt Busch, your points leaders around in turn 2. Caution flag comes back out as Kurt Busch goes for a spin off the bumper of Mark Martin. Caution flag is out once again, right away having a yellow flag. Seeming like everybody's going to stay out after that quick caution. And we'll get a look at this one as Kurt Busch gets some help from Mark Martin in the 06. And I would like to also look back. Mark Martin obviously got turned earlier in this race. Not entirely sure where it was. I believe it was here. Ooh, yes, and of course, it was off of the 40 of Jamie McMurray, so Mark Martin getting back at the Ganassi guys, and I guess not too happy with Ganassi, and took matters into his own hands, saw the teammate of the 40 right in front of him and decided, okay, I can play your game. And Mark Martin sends Kurt Busch for a spin here in turn 1 and 2 at Martinsville. Man, playing a bit of politics here in the Old Dominion 500 as he got into the 01 of Kurt Busch and sent him into the wall. That is your points leader. Making a bit of contact. And boy, that is definitely some food for thought after the contact there. Nobody in the pits that last time. So we'll take you straight to intermission here from Martinsville. Bobby Labonte still in the race lead after the quick yellow. So back once again here at Martinsville as Bobby Labonte continues to control this race. Waltrip, Kane, Edwards, and Marlin still your top 5. And 43 car of Andretti got lucky dog that last time by. So Kurt Busch in the 01 after the contact with Mark Martin. Not sure how much NASCAR is going to like that with Mark Martin all the way down in last place, 3 laps down. Definitely not going to be too much of a fan of that one. And Kurt Busch drops down to 20th. Again, that is your points leader, who got spun around by Mark Martin in the 06. Coming to lap number 64 as Bobby Labonte leads the field. Back green here right away. Casey Kane with a great start. Looking low on Waltrip towards turn 1. Got underneath him as Sterling Marlin with a big dive bomb on Edwards. That's for 4th. Kane looking to get past the 00 now. Not quite clear yet. Down the front stretch, side by side for the race lead. And he's got it. Casey Kane into 2nd place. Jeff Burton in the pit lane yet again. Problems for the 99 continue. 18 still in the lead here. Might have been a black flag even for a restart violation, not sure. I'm gonna actually take a look at that. I could just look. Yes, I believe it was, passing the 88 coming to the green. So a restart violation and a stop and go for the 99 of Jeff Burton. Casey Kane chasing down Bobby Labonte for that race lead. He pulls away from Waltrip, who now runs third. Marlin fourth, and Robbie Gordon in fifth place. Tony Stewart has also slowly been attempting to climb the ladder as he sends it down the inside of Carl Edwards for sixth. And he's got that position gained. Though Edwards still fighting back on the outside. Heated battle between these two, but Tony Stewart will pull past the 97 and into sixth place. Kane narrowing the gap to the 18 of Labonte. Although he widely missed turn number 4 that time, and also turn 3 missed corner exit, lost a lot of time. Doing everything in his power to catch up to the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Talked to him after last week at Dover and said, you know, I felt like I was robbed of a chance at the win last week. We were one of the fastest cars on the racetrack until that poorly timed caution, and just pit stop troubles took some positions away from us. And just that team figured that they weren't able to capitalize on the race car that they had, thought they were the best car on the racetrack in the second half of that race, and who could really blame them for thinking so, given how many positions they made up and how much time they made up on the racetrack during that race. But as always, the Enum Claw native said, I'm in good spirits. Focus on next week and bring in another fast race car, and they have been no slouch today here at Martinsville, approaching the halfway mark and chasing down Bobby Labonte for that lead and maybe the elusive first victory for Casey Kane in the Coca-Cola Cup Series. Huge margin for these two leaders as Waltrip and Robbie Gordon get into each other. A bit of a slide job by the 00, sending it up the inside and sliding right in front of Robbie Gordon. A bit of short track action there for third. Tony Stewart trying to slip past the 31 now after the contact between those two Chevrolets. Battle for that is 8th place between Marlin and Todd Bodine. Everything under control right now in this field. Ryan Newman now into the pit lane, and heavy damage on the right front of that 12 car. Get a look back at this. Ooh, looks like he got a bit of the pit wall on pit entry, but keeps it going. We stay green. Kept it off the racetrack. Halfway mark has been met as Bobby Labonte still leads this race, but Casey Kane not too far behind in the tire tracks of the 18. Trying to find a way to catch that Interstate Batteries Chevrolet in first place, who has been dominating the middle portion of this race. In control of it for about 50 laps or so after taking the lead on the right pit strategy, but Kane not too terribly slow right behind him. Edwards and Robbie Gordon fighting. That's for P5. Scott Riggs right behind them in 7th. Still a battle between the 22 and 26 for 8th place. Directly behind those two. Marlin gets a piece of the wall there in turn 4. And that'll promote Bodine into 8th place. Lap traffic in front of these race leaders. Augie Vidovic, the first of lap cars in the way in the 52, right in front of the 18 of Bobby Labonte, and he maybe got a little bit aggressive with the blocking there, trying to stay on the lead lap. Labonte having none of it, running right underneath the 52, but unable to find a way through yet. Kane closes in from 2nd place as the laps continue to tick by here from Martinsville. Newman rejoins the racetrack now. He's missing his hood. And here comes Casey Kane underneath the 18. Labonte caught sleeping a little bit. Side by side for the lead down the front stretch. Labonte's going to get caught up behind the 12 here. And new leader is the 38 of Casey Kane. Going to pull Newman off the racetrack here as Kane's going to try to go around the outside of Vidovic. The lap car in the 52 on the bottom. Kane trying to find his way through. Might even work out for him here, and it sure will. The 38 clear of the 52. Lap traffic gets dealt with. Now Bobby Labonte's turn, still trying to find a way around that Ware Dodge. Tony Stewart has made his way all the way up into third. That 20 looking bad fast right now, but has a long way to go to get to your race leaders. Ran his best lap of the race that last time by, a 19.226. More lappers in front of Casey Kane. His teammate Dale Jarrett just up the road at 35th place. Excuse me, now 36, and an Alliance teammate in the form of the 68 of Johnny Sauter. Not too terribly far up there as well as Kane catches up to the lap traffic. Bobby Labonte has dealt with the 52 of Augie Vidovic and moved himself up a place. Dale Jarrett going to leave the top open for his teammate Kane, who seemed to prefer using that line to get around the lap cars. Worked out for him quite well so far. Now trying to work on his teammate Dale Jarrett, who will now get up and into the way of the 18 of Bobby Labonte, who now goes to the outside. No, Jarrett closes the door. Labonte gives him a bumper. A little bit of team politics here as Dale Jarrett trying to block the 18 and cut his teammate some slack. Worked out beautifully for Kane, who pulls away in the lead now. Labonte tried to move the 88 out of the way to no avail. And he's definitely not going to be happy with that 88 of Dale Jarrett, who sits just up the road and sees that 38 of Casey Kane pulling away from the race lead. Tony Stewart has caught up to these leaders in a mighty hurry, making some headway on the top two. Casey Kane gets around Alliance teammate Johnny Sauter. He's back past another of these lappers now to work on the 43 of Andretti. And Kane finding some grip on that outer line, which is not something you'd expect from a place like Martinsville at all, but has made it work so far. Dale Jarrett now being taken side by side by Bobby Labonte in the 18, but still, at 18, not quite able to find a way around. Kane stuck on the outside as he fights Johnny Sauter to keep the 68 in tow behind him. And keeps him at bay. Labonte's still fighting with Jarrett. The 36th place car was 60, now 59 laps to go. As Labonte will dispose of the 88 of Dale Jarrett. Ooh, although maybe not. Jarrett gets into the 18 at just a tiny little bit. And now into the wall is the 88. Tony Stewart slips past. Has clean racetrack to his teammate in the 18. Casey Kane still struggling to find a way around this lap traffic. And the 68 doing him no favors. Ooh, Labonte, wow, very sideways as he got into the 68 of Johnny Sauter and almost cleaned out Casey Kane, the race leader. Mere inches from total disaster now. Top three are under a blanket as Casey Kane still dealing with the 68 and unable to get around his Alliance teammate, who has brought the two Gibbs teammates right up into this mix. But Kane gets clear. Oh, if only just. No, Johnny Sauter still underneath the 38. Gotta imagine that Kane is not enjoying having to deal with the 68 who sends it into turn 1, trying to stay on the lead lap, and is costing Kane a chance to pull away from the 2 other leaders who are a part of this top 3. What do you do with this 68 car? Bobby Labonte taking it 3 wide here in turn 1. 3 wide with the lap car in the middle. The 2 race leaders splitting him up the middle 3 wide. Labonte on the inside. Sauter in the middle. Kane on the outside. The 18 has the lead by a nose at the line. Sauter runs Kane up the hill. Labonte's got the lead off of turn 2. Now Tony Stewart takes it 3 wide up the inside. Sauter disposed of as he gets dropped behind by the 2 leaders. Kane absolutely has to be livid with the 68 now, who has cost him not 1 but 2 positions, one of which to one of his championship rivals. But Kane sending it into turn 3 on the outside. 50 laps to go at the line, side by side between the 20 and 38. Still for second place. And Tony Stewart will get clear for second place, so Kane down 2 positions, thanks in plenty part to his alliance teammate in the form of the 68 of Johnny Sauter. Excuse me. So 18 now in the race lead once again. It took lap traffic help, but he's into the lead now, working on Andretti, who Kane struggled for a long time to get past. And he puts a lap car buffer between himself and his teammate Tony Stewart, who runs in second place. So much battling between all these leaders that now Robbie Gordon has joined the mix from 4th. 5th place, Carl Edwards not too far behind these leaders either. Michael Waltrip still runs in 6th, a solid run for him. It's Riggs 7th, 8th is Marlin. 9th goes to Todd Bodine, who fights with the rookie David Rudiman for that 9th position, the 55 and 10th. Bobby Labonte now running into some trouble with the lap traffic, struggling to keep them behind as Andretti tries to fight for his lap back. To little avail. Has the 49 of Ken Schrader in 33rd place in front of him next. Still anybody's game with 45 laps to go here. Casey Kane drops down to 3rd, as we mentioned, with the lap traffic. It's been a struggle for him. He had that lead, thought he had well control of it, but lost all that time as Tony Stewart spooks the 43 up the hill. And these guys trying to waste no time with the lap traffic now after what happened to Casey Kane in the 38. Andretti still in the process of being overtaken by the 20 and 38 as Robbie Gordon still fights with Sauter, who is continuing to battle with these leaders. 78 car went into the pits. That'd be Buckshot Jones into the pit lane. Casey Kane getting past the 43 of Andretti, trying to get underneath Tony Stewart for second, but could not do it. The 23 into the pits as well. Might we see pit stops here for the race leaders, as the 23 was in there as well. Kane now fighting with Ken Schrader, the 32nd place car. Robbie Gordon's been pulled all the way up into this. That 31 looking pretty quick at the moment. He gets into Ken Schrader. 52 car in the pit lane now. Kane trying to make sure that Robbie Gordon doesn't have an opportunity to dive it up the inside. Tony Stewart, only 1 lap car between him and his teammate Labonte, who leads. The 18 with the 6 of John Wood in between him and the 20 who runs in second place. These guys are really trying to cover the bottom and entering shallow at the moment. It is 18, 20, 38, 31, all within a shout of this lead. Carl Edwards rounds out the top 5, a little bit of a ways behind. .43 and 68, as well as the 97 went into the pits, and Bobby Labonte, your race leader, is in. Tony Stewart will take a lap lead, but here's Kane trying to get underneath the 20 for what is net P2, side by side off of turn number 2. Down the back stretch, the 2 leaders. Everybody coming in for their final pit stop now. Kane's got the lead at the line. Well-timed move by Kane to put Stewart behind him and in his mirror. But he will dive into the pit lane with Tony Stewart staying on the racetrack. 20's got the lead. Bonus points for the 5. Kurt Busch, your points leader, in, taking some damage repairs. That's going to cost him some positions as Stewart dives in. Now, the 20 from the lead into the pit lane. Getting held up quite a lot in traffic here as Eric Norris left his pit box right in front. 18 should be your net race leader. He got into the 33 of Don Thompson Jr. trying to get around the lap car and disposes of him. Kane leaving the pit lane in second place. Net P2 belongs to the 38. The race lead, Bobby Labonte. Tony Stewart leaving the pits now as Kane will pass him. Carl Edwards left the pits in 4th. Lot of damage repairs were done under that caution, which completely shuffled the field. 3 wide involving Casey Kane as Matt Kenseth washed way up the racetrack, but managed to keep it clean. Stewart still right in the mirror of the 38 car. It is now just 19 cars on the lead lap. The next lap car in front is the 44 of Jerry Nadeau. A couple of cars that are further laps down involve Mark Martin and Greg Biffle. Excuse me, who are a long way out of this thing. Labonte in a sandwich right now. But Kane a long way back from second and still dealing with Matt Kenseth in the 17. And with how things run, with Kurt Busch now all the way down in 34th place, it seems like Kane in the 38 will be a surefire check to take the race lead, or excuse me, the points lead this late in the running in the race. As long as things go cleanly, it's now 29 laps to go for your race leader, Bobby Labonte, who sits well in control of this race here at Martinsville. Jeff Burton, one of the last ones into the pits. That was a lap car. He has been quite a few laps down so far in this race. A couple of drivers still fighting for their lap back as 20th place Kenny Wallace passed the 18 a couple of laps prior. Thompson Jr. almost got turned again. That time was by John Wood in the 6. Those two fighting for what is the lucky dog position just behind the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Kane with a lot of traffic in front between him and the 18, but this race anything but over as he gets split 3 wide. Kenseth getting aggressive underneath the 38. And maybe with help for his teammate Carl Edwards, who is now running in 3rd as he got around the 20 of Tony Stewart, who is dealing with some lap traffic himself. Kane, ooh, gets ran into by Buckshot Jones now. Absolutely nobody doing the 38 any favors. He just about holds on to it. Kane, couple of narrow misses there. He's still in control of that thing. 25 laps to go now. That 38, we're probably just hoping that he can get to the end of this race in one piece. And Kane left the bottom open there. Here comes Carl Edwards. Looked underneath. Couldn't find the nose. (18, 38, 97, 20, and 31, your top five. Edwards still trying to fight with Kane for second place. Really tried to send it there, but couldn't get the nose underneath him, although he's a little bit under him now. And Kane's going to have to yield the inside now. Not where you want to be if you're Casey Kane. You want every point you can get to extend that cushion in this championship battle, and nobody has done Kane any favors here today. Adversity at the forefront of his day today. And as the plot thickens, Kane stays fighting on the outside of Carl Edwards for the second spot, hoping he can at least find a lane back down to the bottom, and it looks like he will. Although not yet, as he's still side by side with Edwards for second place. 20 laps to go at the stripe for the leaders, as Bobby Labonte still well up the road in front of these guys. Ooh, way up the track now. Tony Stewart takes it 3 wide with Kane. 2 championship leaders. Stewart wants to gain points on Kane if he can. And that 38 still stuck on the outside. Not where you want to be if you're Casey Kane, as we mentioned. He should be clear this time. Little bit of contact directly behind him between Buckshot Jones and Eric Norris. A lot of contact there in front of some of the leaders. That was Biffle and Junior getting into each other. Just a lot of drivers getting sloppy late in this thing. Edwards stuck on the top. Might be an opportunity for the 20 and 38 to gain a couple more spots. And Edwards will drop behind as Kane moves into third and Tony Stewart into second place. 38 tried to get underneath the 20 for P2. Might have a shot now. Stewart trying to block. Couldn't do it. And Kane moves into second place. 3 wide directly behind as Edwards getting split by a couple of the lappers as Eric Norris and Dale Jr. fight for 25th. 15 laps to go here from Martinsville. This has just been an absolute mess late in this race. A lot of lap cars in the way of the leaders. Not really anywhere for them to go. Kane having about as good of a day as he could ask for in the midst of this championship hunt with Kurt Busch so far down the order. But Tony Stewart also having a great day that he would hope for, given that he was a longer ways back than the 38 of Kane entering today. Caution flag is out. Wreck involving the 26 of Todd Bodine, who was running in 10th, and Scott Riggs gets into the 26. Todd Bodine throwing some blocks on Riggs. Quite a few. And I believe the 57 just got fed up with it and sends the 26 for a spin. This changes everything. A lot of lap traffic in the way, though. 33 car will be the lucky dog as Don Thompson Jr. will get the wave around. Wrecking back there, under the caution as everybody checks up, Jeff Gordon almost a part of it. That is a top 10 car and one of the championship leaders. but seems like he's okay as we're under caution here. 20 of Thompson Jr. going to be waved around. The lucky dog here, the 20th place car. 20 cars will be on the lead lap here. Bobby Labonte, your race leader, he's got several lap cars between him and his teammate Tony Stewart, who lines up in second place. We'll take you back to intermission late in this race here at Martinsville. Back from intermission here at Martinsville. It'll be just 8 laps to go for the race leader, Bobby Labonte. 20 cars on the lead lap here. To finish up this race, Tony Stewart will start in second, Casey Kane in third. Back there further as Robbie Gordon runs into 5th position. The 24 of Jeff Gordon in 8th. The 9th place belongs to Ricky Hendrick. As we're back green. 00 is going to have to pull it into the pits here as he had a tire go down coming to the restart. Everybody bunched back up. Kane spooked up the track by Edwards. 97 not doing the 38 any favors. Ooh, Carl Edwards puts the bumper to the back of Tony Stewart, but the 20 does not budge. '77 car is the next to get a restart violation there. As he takes a stop and go. Bobby Labonte with 5 laps to go from the race lead. Up the track is Greg Biffle there. Casey Kane getting to work on Carl Edwards. Looking at the rest of the championship contenders as Robbie Gordon begins to slip backwards a little bit in 6th place. Jeff Gordon in P8. 9th still Ricky Hendrick. Kurt Busch mired back in the pack a couple of laps down. He's in 33rd. Has some ground to make up, but needs some trouble to do so. Kane into 3rd place. Tony Stewart still holding on to 2nd. Might have a buffer to Kane if he can put Biffle between them, but Biffle goes up the track. That'll open the door for the 38 of Kane. 2 laps to go at the line. Bobby Labonte walking away with this race with just 2 laps to go. Tony Stewart trying to complete a Gibbs 1-2, spark his title run a little further, as well as Casey Kane, who looks surefire to take the points lead after today. White flag in the air for Bobby Labonte in the 18. He's controlled this race all day. It's been most laps led for him, and he will lead the final one on top of it. Bobby Labonte, as he heads through 3 and 4 for the final time. It'll be a Gibbs 1-2 tonight as the 18 wins it here in Martinsville, his 2nd this season. He takes home the checkered flag as Tony Stewart will bring it home in 2nd place to make it that Gibbs 1-2. Casey Kane will take the points lead after today's race with the 3rd place finish. 4th belongs to Sterling Marlin, and 5th will be Carl Edwards in the 97 to round out this race. The rest of your championship leaders, Robbie Gordon in the 31 finishes in 6th. And it'll be Jeff Gordon in 8th place and Ricky Hendrick in 10th as Jeremy Mayfield made an overtake for him for 9th at the very end of this race. And of course, Kurt Busch all the way back in 33rd, not the finish they wanted here from Martinsville. That'll do it here from coverage at Martinsville as Bobby Labonte takes his 2nd win of the season, both of them coming on the short tracks. He wins it here today, a controlling victory here for him tonight. And it is just now 4 more races left to go in this championship hunt. Next week, it will be, I'm not entirely sure on the next race, actually. Let me check that real quick. It'll be Rockingham for race number 33 out of 36. 4 races left to decide this championship hunt, coming to you in the near future. I'm Caden Reif. We'll catch you then as this championship hunt continues to wind down with Bobby Labonte, your winner here today. We'll catch you then, and as always, have yourself a good one.
It's a long way to the top.